Okay, this is a Christmas video, which is rather appropriate because the war is effectively at the end of 1941. So we might as well say this is the situation at Christmas 1941. Oh yeah, for anybody who's watching, who's following this channel, well, Merry Christmas to you all and a Happy New Year. And, I hope you're enjoying this series. If anyone who's watching who isn't subscribed, could you please subscribe? It doesn't cost anything, and it just helps promote the channel so more people will see this channel. As I still notice when you do a sort of like search on World in Flames, none of my stuff ever comes up, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, we'll look at the situation on the main front, which is Russia. And the Germans have been pushing forward again, but they've pretty much exhausted their offensive power. And the weather, oddly enough, apart from the last segment, which ended with no activity at all, was was awful, absolutely awful. It was blizzards and snow, everything, right across. Even down into the Mediterranean, we had snow at some point. So that made everything very, very difficult. They did manage to take Kiev by using up their last HQ benefits. They managed to push very close, much closer to Leningrad, Smolensk. Well, Smolensk fell, yeah, as well. But the Russians have been pretty canny. They've lost nowhere near the amount of territory they have historically, and they've been conserving their forces rather than doing what Stalin did, which was launch loads and loads of silly little offensives and things which were badly organised, badly coordinated, with forces which were badly equipped, and they paid a terrible price for it. So they haven't reproduced that historical situation. Admittedly, that did put the Germans on the back foot a bit doing all that, but ultimately I think it was a bad policy, and it's not one I've continued with the Soviet Union. If we look at Italy, Italy have managed to get some units to Tripoli. They've managed to open their supply lines quite successfully, but they were risking a major engagement with the Commonwealth Navy, which never took place because of the terrible weather. So that's pretty much all Italy have done is just trying to hold their ground in Africa. So they have got a nice little foothold in Africa. I thought they might lose Africa this term, but no, they didn't. Italian submarines and wreaked havoc on the Allied convoys in the Western Mediterranean. So that means we've still not managed to open the Mediterranean. It's almost getting to a stage where we're thinking maybe we're best moving everything around the Cape rather than trying to trace supply from Australia, India, etc. through the Med. I'm thinking about that one anyway. Other things that are going on with America. America's just been ticking along. I haven't done the American entry actions for this year yet, so that could alter things slightly. The Americans have got proper Lend-Lease convoys open now, and cunningly enough, it's ice free. Probably for the first time this turn, we're ice free when we go to look at the Lend-Lease situation. So that's good for taking Lend-Lease into Vladivostok. But if you're taking Lend-Lease up here, we've got the Murmansk convoy system is up and running, and Murmansk is ice free anyway. So the Commonwealth haven't done a great deal. They've been restricted by poor weather, and they've got a lot of naval things they need to look into. They did move the Allied fleet from Ceylon to Free French Madagascar. Just let me check that port there. Yeah, Diego Soares. That is actually a proper major port, so that's a legitimate placement. So if we look at China, again, terrible weather, horrendous terrain, difficulties with supply meant they never really achieved anything this turn. If we look at the Japanese have consolidated their grip on Malaya. They're moving towards conquering Sarawak here in Borneo, and they're moving a few units northwards towards attacking Burma. They've been restricted by poor weather, though, and the need to rationalise their convoy system and the naval system, so that they're not really done a great deal here. That's pretty much it, to be quite honest. I'm just thinking, is there anything else that's been going on? No, it's mainly a turn that's been as expected. In November, December, poor weather has sort of dictated what's happened, even on a global level, rather than just in particular areas. Like Russia is obviously suffering from being in the most of Russia. European Russia is actually in the Arctic zone rather than the North Temperate. That's why it's so horrible. The weather's there so horrible. Anyway, that'll do. Thank you for everyone who's watched.